right, and a hearty shout out to all of you in the Rabyd Nation, whether you're a citizen, a tourist, or just looking across the border, wondering if you want to immigrate. Welcome one and all to the Rabyd Nation and the Rabyd Atheist. And I am your host, Ed Rabyd, a former pastor, turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Deconversion Hangout. This is the place where you can come if you're deconverting or want to understand deconversion better. We often have discussions on deconversion issues. If the chat doesn't derail me, from time to time, that does indeed happen. But mostly I am here to be a support system for anybody deconverting and they want to talk about it. They need some moral support, maybe some emotional support. I am here. I am no expert on deconversion, but I've been going through the process for 10 years myself. So I can kind of give you a general idea of what to expect. So welcome one and all. Welcome everyone to another Deconversion Hangout on a Thursday night. I'm just getting used to 2 streams in a row. Did the Bible study yesterday and doing Deconversion Hangout tonight. So we're good. We're good. There is, of course, a goal in chat. If that goal is reached, I will wear whatever hat has been chosen by the poll for the rest of the stream. Just my polite and low-key way of asking for money to continue my work as I try to normalize atheism and deconversion in a world that wants to think that both are weird for some reason. So thank you one and all for your support. Appreciate the support every stream. Get a quick roll call and then we'll see if there's any good topics. I think there actually is a couple good ones that were pre-chat. So Chuck was here very early. Cranky Elder Gods have graced us with their presence, sending their representative and the Cranky Elder God. Storm is here. Storm, non-compulsory. I see that. I appreciate this. There you go. There you go. Yeah, you're welcome to vent here. Like, I get it. Like, a lot of deconversion is venting about, like, I just, today, you know, I'll wait. I'll get the roll call done first. But Storm is here. Evan is here. Let's see. Blossom is here. Paul is here. Good to see you, Paul. I know you're up early in the AM to be here, so appreciated. Michael is here. Martin is here. All right. Yes, but Storm has been venting a little bit. Like, this is one of those things that I saw this comment. I said, this is a perfect one to start out with. I watched Apologia Paul Ence's video earlier, his latest one about the Reliability Bible, dealing with, who's the content creator? Impact Ministries. Impact Ministry does a lot of those, stick figure videos about Christianity, and he's reacting to the one about the Bible being reliable. And I'm thinking to myself, much like you do, I get really tired of people who don't have degrees in something speaking like they're an authority of it. And philosophers and theologians tend to be the worst. Okay. Like, I too have the problem with, like, a biblical scholar talking quantum physics just as much as I do with philosophers talking physics and quantum physics and all that stuff, because they don't know what they're talking about. Okay. I really try. Now, every once in a while, I talk like I know what I'm talking about, because usually I'm pretty well read on stuff, but I always put it with the caveat, I'm no expert. Like I do the Deconversion Hangout. I always tell people, hey, I'm no expert on deconversion from a psychological, social point of view, but I've been through it. And this is more of a support group for people that have been through it. I'm like, one of the biggest things I missed when I left the church was having a community. And so my goal with Deconversion Hangout is to create a community of people that are like missing the community of church, but they want to be together, so it's like but at the same time, I don't want to sit here and pass myself off as an expert on deconversion. I've just been doing it for a lot. I read a lot about it. I don't know, maybe I deserve an honorary bachelor's degree in it from all the private study I've done on deconversion, but I would never claim to be that. And my largest problem with apologists is usually like Frank Turek, Inspiring Philosophy. They have these philosophical degrees, and it's like, that doesn't qualify you to talk about every subject like you're an expert. Like Turek has gotten in trouble. He's gotten into some debates where he talks quantum physics with somebody who knows physics, and they go like, "You don't know what you're talking about. You're misunderstanding what we're saying." Yeah, yeah. So there you go. But yes, I absolutely get it. And like Paul today was dealing with this person that giving all the standard rote why we should trust the Bible stuff, and like using very bad examples. Like the guy's pulling out Second Peter. I'm like, Second Peter is like debated as to who wrote it. It's like it's certainly not Peter. He talks about Second Corinthians. Like Second Corinthians is a disputed book of Paul. It's like this guy just happens to pick all the bad examples. Talks about prophecy being proof of the Bible. I'm like, it's post hoc rationalization, and anybody thinks for 5 seconds can think that way, unless you're the guy uses the Bible to prove the Bible. I'm like, this is the shit that caused me to deconvert in the first place, because your answers were inadequate, false, and lying. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, I get the frustration. I absolutely get the frustration. Yeah, talking. Well, eat to the fire, so he's more honest about the mysticism and laughing and saying, "Of course, Jesus is real. Don't be silly." Yeah, I do too, Blossom. Like I don't see. I had a problem today. Like I think the Godless Engineer had his discussion today was Jesus is a myth. Prove me wrong. And I'm like, I don't like the prove me wrong title thing. You're an engineer. I get it. I, as a scholar, have the scholarly view as maybe yes, maybe no. Like he might have been a myth. He might not have been. That's an honest answer based on the evidence. So it's like, but yeah, I think I would, if I ever got into a conversation with Bart Ehrman, I'd be like, I have 2 problems with it, like that still he hasn't really addressed. Number one is if all of this stuff in the Gospels is not eyewitness testimony, it's questionable whether it historically happened. Why is it such a great leap to say that maybe Jesus was a mythological figure that people added to? And at the same time, you can turn to the mythicist and say, you have to prove it's mythology. Like that's a positive claim. Prove that it's mythology. Don't do this prove me wrong bullshit. Okay. Like so there you go. But yeah, I have that same problem. Because from my perspective, it's like Bart, the other problem I have with it is, okay, Bart goes through what Jesus says and says, well, this is more probable that Jesus said this and this. I'm like, what is your criteria? What is your basis for saying that? Like, do we have the authentic quotes of Jesus as a book somewhere? And so, yeah, it's like, it's a real problem. Okay. With Ehrman. It's probably my only real problem with Ehrman at times. It's like, dude, you can't just dismiss the mythicists and you know it. Okay. You can't dismiss them. So yeah, it's the same for me, Michael. Like philosophical arguments for the deity I gave up on a long time ago. I was on Felicia by Choice the other day with her video about presuppositional apologetics is stupid and I'm tired of pretending it's not. That is their video title. And it's like, yeah, I'm kind of there. Okay. And it's the whole prove me wrong thing that just drives me nuts. Prove you're right. Like prove you're right. Take the brave pills, take up the mantle of the burden of proof and prove yourself right. Do it. Okay. I'm waiting. So yeah, there you go. That's okay, Paul. I appreciate the dedication, by the way. Yeah, I know. I'm wanting community. How dare I? This is from Physics Play, a conspiracy on the part of academia not to publish these arguments properly in Nature or whatever. Yes, that it's the conspiracy theorist thing, but it's like, prove that. Yeah, sure. Oh my goodness, that was another good one. So there you go. But yes, I have spent a large amount of time like looking at presuppositional apologetics, like people don't know where my hatred of presuppositional apologetics began. It began when I was a Christian, when I was in seminary. Like I have always had this presuppositional apologetics, and it's been around for a while. I've always had that problem with it. Like I remember reading, I think it's Planaga, and I'm thinking, nah, dude, the problem with what you're saying is like, because he goes on and on about base beliefs that we all have. Like we believe in other persons. We believe that when we leave our work and go back to our house is still there, even though we don't have any evidence of it, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, except we do. Okay. And so, yeah, it gets to be a real problem. Hey, Native, good to see you. Yeah, no, we don't. No, we don't. It's like you don't have any evidence that you have eyewitness proof of Jesus. The Gospels, that's for the Bible tells you so, but it's also like the authors don't name themselves and they don't name their sources. So how do you know it's eyewitness? You don't. It could be somebody just writing a fictional story, and it would be such the great comedy, I think, that the universe would throw our way, so to speak, if it turns out that the whole invention of Jesus was kind of a joke and it turned into something more serious than it was intended to be. So, yeah, let's fool some people. Yeah. There's naturists and naturalists. There you go. Two different things. Yeah. That's the thing. It's all hearsay. And me and Paul Entz have made that accusation many times. Other atheist people make that accusation all the time. It's like, this is hearsay. So, and we don't count it in the court of law for good reasons. So, yeah, that's the real question, is how much, if there is a real person behind all this, how much of it is reflected in mythology? Like you could make the claim that Hercules is based on a real person. Like Perseus, Hercules, all the Greek heroes are based on real people. Maybe that's true. How much of it is true? Do we really think there was guys lifting up pillars back then? Or, maybe there was a guy that, was super strong back then and it just became something bigger and bigger over time. So, yeah. I know that's one of the things that makes you cranky, doesn't it? Cranky is the word games. That's Rabyd avatar too. Yeah, we got a Rabyd avatar around here too. Fangs is always welcome. He's always here. Yeah, I get you did that. But no, like the whole idea of presuppositional apologetics is we have these other base beliefs that we just take for granted. Why can't the belief in God and all that be just like that? Like I believe that if I leave my workplace and come back to my apartment is still there. Do I have any empirical evidence at the moment I'm driving that my apartment's still there? No. But I have had this constant repetitious evidence that every time I come home from work, my apartment's there. So it's like, that's actually greater evidence than we have for the evidence for God. Like we don't have that, but his argument is we could just treat, God exists, prove us wrong is kind of the argument at that point. And that's where they get that from. Yeah. Well, yeah. 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 I got you. I understand. Like we've been asked that question. Me and Earl have been asked that question. What happens 1,000 years from now if they find a copy of the Misadventures of Fangs and take it seriously? And yeah, that's a possibility. But I think Jesus might have been that. It could have been. You learned that. Oh, okay. There you go. 15 minutes later, yeah. I don't know. See, that's the other thing. Like it's what are memories? Like we know that like when people remember things, they don't remember them as exactly as they actually were. Like we literally now have people that have recorded events in their life and then you ask them 5 years later about that event without looking at the recording, and they've already edited it in their brain. Like it's a different thing. And then you show them the recording and it's like, no, that actually didn't happen, did it? No, it didn't. But they thought it did. Okay. They wanted it to happen so badly that they wrote it into their memory. So what parts of memory are real and thing is a legitimate question. So there you go. Okay. You're having a pun. Okay, there you go. Yes, veggie killers. I have the veggie killer. I do have a new red flag emoji for all of you though. That's it now. The new red flag emoji. Earl's been working on it. So there you go. So if you are a member, you can post red flags on anything now. So I think it shows up better anyway. like the elder gods don't really take Fang seriously now, do they? And I don't think he wants to be taken seriously. I think that's the beauty of Fangs, is he just doesn't want to be taken seriously. So so there you go. So, but now, yes, you have red flag emojis, and it's Fangs holding a red flag. So there you go. So I had an original one, but it was a little bit dark, and Earl kind of cleaned it up and polished it up, and here it goes. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we fabricate things all the time. So I don't know. There's sometimes I think that's a survival mechanism to kind of like, you know, people tend to do that a lot when they face traumatic things. Like they have a traumatic experience, so they reframe it and rethink it in order to deal with it better. So I think that's been pretty well documented. So yes. So there you go. My life might just be dreams, or how vivid some dreams are. That's another avenue of research I've read a little bit about. And so, yes, that happens too. Like, it's not that this is why we have the scientific method, because if we rely on memory and everybody's experience, we're going to be all over the place. So you have to like document things and measure things and actually provide the documentation and have other people do it and look at it and things like that. Like you can't, there's so much mysticism in this stuff if you don't do that. And yeah, we can get that way. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know. So you have red flags. This cool documentary I watched about sensory deprivation, how with the absence of the brain might make up illusions to make up for no sight. Yes, I've seen that research too. I don't remember if it was a documentary, but I remember there was a discussion on sensory deprivation and how people who are deprived of certain senses will make up illusionary memories in order to compensate for the loss of it. Like, so like if you're denied sight, your brain makes up images of things you're seeing. So to compensate. Same is true for hearing. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's like yeah, I can kind of prove that that's reliable. Here, let me show you. Um, it's like it is a red flag when people say that, because like I would rely on the scientific method more than theology. I'm going to tell you that, because at least they provide grounds of falsifiability and testing, and if they find out something is wrong, they accept it's wrong. They don't have to make up something else to defend something they already thought. So yes, there's phantom limbs. Well documented cases during like wartime of people, hey man, hey doc, thanks for saving the leg. And it's like the doc looks at him, no dude, we had to amputate your leg, but I can still feel it's there. Like, yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Okay, your brain makes up stuff in order to deal with stuff. So yeah. In the documentary, people had illusions of hearing people talk to them, seeing an environment around them act. It was even absolutely nothing but darkness. Yes, they do that. Like you can do that. People make stuff up in their head. Like this is why religion kind of clings to that stuff. The one thing I learned deconverting about this issue is that how visions happen, how deja vu happens, like you fabricate things to fit what you want to be real. If you're a religious person, it happens. So your personal prove me wrong. I remember the first time I think I saw Charlie Kirk do the prove me wrong thing, like first time I saw it. And I'm like, oh, so we're just avoiding the burden of proof and making everybody else prove you wrong. I don't know. It was the first reaction I had to it. So prefer fabric. Okay, there you go. I remember correctly, Pete thought that phantom limbs, phantom pain is the evidence for the soul. They used to think that, yeah. Like the soul is still there, but no, it's the brain and your nervous system trying to compensate for a trauma. Like also, like you have nervous system memory that's outside of the actual limb. Like if you lose your leg, there's other parts of your nervous system that deal with your leg that still have that phantom. Like they still act like it's still there, creating that phantom memory. So yeah. Everything is evidence for the unfalsifiable. There you go. I mean, yeah, and that's kind of what it is. Like they used to think that was evidence for the soul. Like the soul is still there, but you lost your physical leg. And like, no, that's not what's going on. So, part broke my faith is when the brain is so fake on occasion. It started to learn to think, is the claims real or just people's own fabrications? Yes. Like that's the question. Okay. It's a great, it's when you look at some of the stories, like miracle stories in the Bible and other literature that have miracles or things that the person is experiencing what is that? Is that what are visions? Are visions something that the mind makes up in order to deal with the problem? Like I think, like if you look at the story in Acts of Paul's conversion, like Saul's conversion, and then later becoming Paul, you look at that, he sees a vision of Jesus, but nobody else does. Like, and that's part of the problem with the Acts accounts is like every time he tells a story, it's a different story. So, and is that him starting to get stressed out by the fact that he's arresting people that are perfectly innocent of any other crime other than blasphemy, and he starts to have some guilt complex about it. So he has a vision about Jesus to justify his conversion. I think psychologically you could make that case that if that story is real, that he's making stuff up to deal with the fact of his own, like conflict in his own brain. So yeah, well, yeah, of course they did. Okay. Yeah, I can get that. Yeah, like drug use. It's not just evidence for God, it's like evidence for a lot of things. Like you have a hallucinogenic experience on some sort of drug, and lo and behold, what happens? Um, you know, a religion will develop. Like that happened a lot. Like, and it still continues to happen. I think like people have this experience when they're on some sort of drug, and they think that's real. Like it's like, because drugs used to be considered like, oh, you want to open your consciousness, you want to open your mind to see things you don't normally see. Here you go. Yeah, so well, there you go. Yeah, see, Cranky says it. I'm stoned, therefore I am. So there you go. Protesting the Catholics, yes. Protestant is like the idea that they were protesters. So Martin Luther was a protester against Catholicism. He didn't actually want to leave the Catholic Church at first. He just wanted to progress the dogma and get it changed to be more in line with Scripture. Well, then he didn't do it, and they wouldn't let priests get married. He said, "Screw it, we'll start our own gig," and and he married a former nun and, had babies and, yeah. So there you go. And that's the way the Catholics, by the way, frame it, is just a bunch of nuns and monks that wanted to get married and do the dirty. And that's what it was all about. So there you go. They were protesting the Catholic Church, so therefore they became Protestants. So it's weird. I get it. Yeah, reformers is probably a better title. They kind of start talking reforming the Catholic Church, but Protestants stuck. Have proof of God as a physical existence is because I am infallibly of the mind. If I can't prove it's my own existence is unreliable, yes. Yeah, I think the reason most of us deconverted is because we got to this issue of, okay, if other people can have these experiences and come up with faulty conclusions, why can't I? It's not so much a doubt of your senses or yourself. You just realize that things aren't 100%. You're not always experiencing what you think you're experiencing. So it's like, I can see where ancient people would take that seriously and take it as, because they don't have any method of testing for better. So religious beliefs kind of crop up as the only answer that they had. And it's not our best attempt at understanding something, but it's our first, so, and then we grow up from there. So yeah, he did only really want to reform the church. He didn't want to split it off. That's one of the things about him. But the process became the Reformation, yeah. So one who hung earth and space is himself hanged. The one who firmly fixed all things himself is firmly fixed to the tree. Oh, Justin Martyr. Yeah, when I was in seminary, I read a lot of the early church fathers because I was studying doctrines of church and leadership in the church and things like that. Trying to get some historical context, and some of the things I read is like, oh my God, these people are considered heroes. Like, we would not consider this guy a hero today. I don't think Justin Martyr would cut it. So I don't know. People don't like critics. They like ants, I guess. People that were already believers and after taking certain drugs, psychedelics, they said that they started believing even more or confirmed their beliefs and such. Yes, this does happen. Like, you're literally taking something that messes up your sensory perceptions, but thinking it's more real than when you're hanging around normally. So there you go. I can buy that. I can buy it. Yeah. I know everything about it. Unfortunately, Protestant in Northern Ireland means not a Catholic. It also means throwing stones at the police in the summer season. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Oh, okay, whatever. Go ahead. I'm here. I'm here, struggling with things. Need answers. I will even say I don't know. So my Fallout 4 city themed with proper design buildings. You go for it. I've been playing Skyrim myself, so mostly for nostalgia, not because it's the best fantasy game out there anymore, but I still think it's so. I'm an atheist. Yeah, that was I've been watching this Irish stuff for a long time. In the 70s and 80s, it was still, when I was a child and teenager, it was a topic of discussion. So it's been around for a bit. But yeah, there used to be an old joke about this. Let's see. What do you think potentially is the most comforting and most reassuring potential developments from religion in the U.S.? That religion isn't gaining any ground, despite the victories of the Christian nationalists. What's comforting and reassuring to me is that religious belief is still the same. There's been a lot of oh, the Generation Z has been having this revival, and that's highly overrated. Like the more you look into it, you realize what you're seeing is what's happened all the time in Christian churches is that the young people will have a resurgence of faith and the adults are kind of leading that. But when you really look at it, it's not there. I think there's a conservatism that's growing, but it doesn't have a religious basis. I think that's one of the things that is probably reassuring to me is like maybe conservatism will actually get back to the good roots that it used to have, like, fiscal responsibility and, division of powers, which they don't seem to believe in anymore. And, maybe we'll get back to that. But I just don't, I think the idea that there's a religious revival in this country is massively overblown. And that's kind of reassuring to me. I think the problem with religion in general is every time some religious person or apologist makes a claim, there's a bunch of internet resources, including myself, that you can turn to and say, yeah, that's bullshit. So yeah, I think it's overblown. I guess I'll be tested on that when Pew Research comes out with the poll next year to see if things have changed. But this last year, nothing really changed. Like the same amount of people that aren't religiously affiliated is the same as it was last year. The amount of Christians is the same. The amount of Protestant fundamentalist Christians and Catholics is the same. So you see a little bit of movement from one religion to another, but you don't see any growth. So that's kind of reassuring. Potential development. I think, and this might be me going out on a limb, I think there's a lot of people who see Christian nationalism doing what it's doing and it's repugnant to them. And I think you may see this year coming up, you might see a lot of backlash to religion and in particular Christianity because they never it never goes well when religious people like try to impose their views on others. Concerning, you want concerning too? I think the only concerning thing I have is that whether or not people will have the patience enough to put up with the bullshit before it ends. Like this is going to get worse. They're going to get more desperate and it's going to look like it's getting worse, but really what it is desperation. And so my concerning thing with religion is I don't think it's getting any worse. And I think it has potential still to get better. I kind of believe to a certain extent that it's more hard to be religious, even though people cling to it. Like there's so many counters to it. So we'll see. And it's all right. It's good for conversation, but I'm not as concerned about what's going on from a religious point of view because I know the numbers. The research data says that religion really isn't growing in the United States, it's kind of holding pat. All the Christian nationalists have bought is everybody stayed the same for the year. Like nobody decided to switch religions or anything or become religious, or if anything, you see like switching from one religion to another, but that's about it. So yeah, I like it for that reason too. Like I tend to play all kinds of different characters to get whatever vibe. I sometimes test things too. So yeah, I honestly think, Anonymous, that you might be right there. There's a lot of Christians that are very hopeful because of the rise of this stuff, but I think it's hopium. Like I think they have a problem that's inherent to being a Christian. And that is if you try to impose your beliefs on others, people tend to get pissed off about it. Okay, so, and the American people, I have to agree with some of the late night comedian types that have been saying this recently. Like they've seen the American people rise up against this stuff, which is very hopeful to them. Like people aren't taking stuff sitting down in religion either. So religion for breakfast. Yeah, I just don't. I saw the Friendly Atheist did a thing about what's going on in America religiously, and he's basically saying nothing's changed. Like this this idea of a religious revival among young people is kind of bullshit. Like, it's like nothing has changed. If there was a religious revival, you would see a spike from last year to this year in the amount of people believing in religion in the age demographic of Generation Z, but you don't see that. Like, there is no spike. It's like it's the same as it was the year before. So what you're seeing is a lot, maybe the younger generation is being more outspoken about its religious convictions, but it's not, it's the percentages are still the same. So yeah, that would be a positive. Like, I think the way they see MAGA and a few others reacting and acting towards other people's rights and things like that, I think that's something that people are like, well, you back this bullshit and I don't really agree with you. So, it's going to be interesting. This 2026 is going to be interesting. Don't get me wrong. Because I think the Democrats will probably win the House and the Senate might flip too. And that'll be a big loss for President Trump because he's done that twice now. Like, both of his terms, he lost Congress, both times. I think that would be interesting. And it's like, I saw an article where his niece said that that's his greatest fear. He likes people to like him, and right now people don't like him, and it bothers the hell out of him. So it's like, and it's starting to show. But from a religious standpoint, I don't see things changing much in 2026. I think, other than people are going to like, you justified this, this stuff using your Christianity. I don't think that's very Christian of you. But of course, I've been doing red letters, red flags, saying, well, yeah, there's some things I hope they don't follow in Jesus. So I don't know. I'm very hopeful, actually, for this coming year. I couldn't tell you why, okay, other than I don't think things have changed for the better. So for the Republicans, I don't think they've gotten a win in a while. Like, they trumpet a lot of wins, but I think with the American people, they're not winning very much. So it's not good PR. A lot of what they're doing isn't good PR for them. So we'll see. Yeah, it's kind of, she said something really stupid too. I put it on my Facebook page because she basically said, you don't see Jesus going into religious institutions and disrupting the service. And I'm like, this woman has never heard about Jesus overturning the tables in the temple, that story. And if I believe John, he did it twice. Okay. It's like, it's the ignorance of Christians about the character of Jesus in their own Bibles that's killing them. Like, they think Jesus is a certain thing, and then you open the Bible and show them, and it's just like, oh my God, you people don't even know. So it's desperation, and I knew it would get there. Like, they're in desperation mode. You can tell. Like, they're, when you have JD Vance coming out every time to defend ICE, you're in a desperation mode because he shouldn't be the guy doing it. Like, he's just, I don't know who made that political decision to have him take care of that issue, but whoever that PR director is needs to be recalled because he's not winning any points. Like, it's like, dude, like today it was like the 5-year-old got arrested, and I'm like, I don't know if he got arrested, but I bet he got detained by the police. And because he's an American citizen, he needs to be detained with cause for himself. Just because he's a minor doesn't mean your rights go out the window. And, oh, that's a fake story. Well, then I see literally the lawyer for the 5-year-old getting out there stating what their case is. So it's not completely fake. Maybe some of the interpretations by everybody are off because they want to politicize it, but still, it's like, yeah, it's not going well. It's not going well. The whole Greenland thing, Trump goes into the meeting and basically says, hey, we've got a big win by getting exactly what they offered us in the first place. Like, dude, you just literally just told us this is what they offered right out the gate. It's like, yeah. Yeah, it's still the same. Like, every new Christian six leave. Uh, yeah, and it's a big. The Pew stats have shown that like they suddenly realize, oh, you can be moral without being religious. Like the whole lie of you need religion for morality is a big one that people believe. That's actually very true. I know that that realization struck me when I first deconverted. After a while, I was like, because I'm like, well, what kind of do I have a code or anything? Well, I picked a code, but the code had nothing to do with God's. And when I realized that, it's like, so you can be virtuous, you can be honorable, you can be good, you can be courageous, you can be truthful, and you don't need a God to be those things. And I think it's a big revelation to a lot of people. And then something is, well, not only is that a reason to leave religion, I don't have a reason to go back then. That's usually the biggest reason people stay in. They want their moral code or whatever. And yeah, so yeah, it's poaching. Like we knew that when I was in the church, okay, and I was in a denomination in the Assemblies of God, we already knew we're well aware of that problem back in the early 2000s. Um, that basically most church growth was people moving from one church to another. That was evident back then, and it is still true today. Like so, it's poaching mostly. So yeah, a lot of people don't like churches talking politics. I think the people that don't understand, like people will come out and say, yeah, but it was mostly Christian founding fathers. And the reasons they did the separation of church and state thing was they recognized if one group of Christians got in charge, they would be prejudiced against the other groups of Christians. They had saw that in Europe. Then we're not going to do that here. We're going to keep the state secular so that it doesn't play favorites. These are Christians saying this, and a lot of Christians today have forgotten that lesson. Like they don't realize that by putting Christianity in charge, they actually endanger Christianity. Because if a certain type of Christian gets in charge with that mentality, they will persecute the other Christians. So it's like keep religion out of politics was something that Christians used to say. So, and a lot of Christians don't like the politics in church. They want it out. I remember when I was in my last church, I had a firm rule. You could talk about pretty much anything during announcements. Don't talk politics, because I literally have like this one person, this one woman in my church is a pro-choice person. And I have another woman over here as a pro-life person inside the same church, both worshiping the same Jesus, supposedly. So, when you have like a situation where there's all kinds of different political views and social views inside a body, like I had two gay guys coming to my church for a while. I said nothing about it because it's not apropos, in my opinion, for that. And so a lot of people get turned off by that. So yes, very good observation. Yeah, it doesn't mean the Democrats are more popular. It's just they're the default. Like if you don't vote Republican, what do you vote for? And this is a deconversion issue too. Like, what do you, how you vote and what you do things, that's something you have to think through too. So, but like the Democrats aren't more popular because of Trump. In fact, their popularity is pretty much held steady since the election. So, and it hasn't been good. So it's like, it's just, who else is going to oppose this other guy? Okay, well, we got to put them in because they'll at least fight against him. Whether they'll fight the right way or the way we like is a different story. But it's like, yeah. So, yeah, I suppose he could defend the Inquisition. And besides, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. So there you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. True story. Yeah, it could be. I mean, maybe there's been an argument that the reason Trump is so bad is he's actually a Democrat plant in order to make the Republican Party suffer damage for decades to come. I've heard that theory. I think it's a bullshit conspiracy theory, but I still have heard it. So, yeah, it's recycling. Maybe it's recycling. That's probably true. Most of the Christian founding fathers would not be listened to today. They would be considered, radicals by a lot of people. But their whole notion of keeping religion out of politics was to keep their own religion safe. Like the Quakers wanted to still be Quakers, and they didn't want the Catholics to tell them that they couldn't be Quakers anymore. So let's just keep that out, not have a religious litmus test for serving in the government, and that way everybody can be treated the same. So, but yeah, they don't. Most Christians don't realize that was the arguments on the floor from Christians. So. Catholics aren't real Christians yeah, I know that that's hard to believe, but the Christian nationalists honestly genuinely don't think that that's a thing, that Christians like we're against Christianity being the state religion. They don't. Oh, that's not true. Like yeah they were. Like they were founding fathers, majority Christian people said let's not put a religion in this thing because we see how that works over in Europe. Okay, it leads to war, it leads to infighting. We start killing each other over doctrine and dogma. Let's keep that out. Okay, so I would say when I heard about the Gen Z revival, Paul, I began to look at it. These are kids that were already in church, like they're already there and they're already Christian, and they're having these emotional services, which is easy to gin up. I'm a former Pentecostal, and I grew up as a teen in the Pentecostal church. This is very easy to do, to create a quote unquote revival. Like you can do this all the time. So, but yeah, it's not unusual. So yeah, they're not doing a very good job of it. Maybe if they brought back the polygamy thing, it'd get more popular, I guess. Oh wait, they still have it in some sects. Okay. Yeah, there was a conspiracy theory that Joe Biden was a covert Republican. Like, same thing. Like, he's so incompetent, he can't be a real Democrat. That was one of the arguments I heard Democrats make and Republicans. So, but yeah, that theory always holds every time we have a president that seems to be a little bit wackadoodle or incompetent or whatever. It's like it's a plant by the other party. So, well, he actually did say that if he ran for president back in the day, he would run as a Republican because Republicans are stupider. So he did actually say that. So that kind of led some evidence to it. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, polygamy. There you go. I just think probably the ladies would like to know that they could marry more than one husband too. So I think that would be. Yeah. A lot of revival sets are just half truths from normal growth stats. Podcasts grew 20%. Headlines report Christian podcasts grew 60. Yeah, that's also true. Like the more I looked at this whole revival, I'm like, is this really a revival or is it just people moving around? And the more I thought about it, it's more like people moving around. So they're having different attitudes. So are struggling, and that's before the UMC split. Ready to Harvest did a video on. Yes. Protestant denominations are having a hard time in the United States. Catholicism, not so much. I think they've held steady better than the rest of them, but Catholics are really damn good at indoctrination. Like they have a systematic indoctrination built into the system that's really, really damn good. So mainline denominations that are Protestant don't necessarily have that, but they're still mainline, and they're like the UMC, Lutherans. Like we have two different Lutheran churches here in town. And it's funny where they're located. Like there's one over by the freeway on the west side of town, and then there's one on the road just outside of town. That's another Lutheran. It's two different synods, and they both have a fairly respectable sized Lutheran church in town. Okay, so, but they're struggling because you might literally see some of those Lutherans move from one Lutheran church to the other and back and forth. So I think it's hilarious. So that's my own anecdotal evidence for that. Yeah. Yeah. They probably, yeah, they do. They do, Evan. This is why I keep you, the dad jokes. Yeah, I've seen is that the Assassin's Creed game is ingrained with anti-Christian bias, inspired by satanic ideology. Is that really a thing, Brent? Because don't get me wrong, it doesn't surprise me. Because isn't the latest Assassin's Creed that's in Japan, isn't it? Is it in Japan or China? Okay, and every time we go to Japan or China with some popular video game, Christians like, oh, we're bringing in Shinto and New Age and Buddhism and all this other shit. This anti-Christian stuff, like Christianity is the only religion in the world. Old Catholics, super progressive. There you go. Yeah, one wants that. Yeah, it's a real video. Oh my God. Oh, Bren, if I had a nickel for every time some Christian group didn't like something that became popular and turned it into saying something satanic, I could take the entire fluffle out for coffee. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, Dave. Hope you're doing well, Dave. I see you have your stuff up for Saturday, so I'll probably pop in by. This Saturday, I am doing an anniversary party because I forgot to do it last week. But the Rabyd Atheist is 6 years old, and it became 6 years old on the 17th. So, and I totally forgot, and so now I'm doing my own party for that. So there you go. Coffee. But yes. See videos of Christians moving to Russia to escape woke culture only to get drafted into a war. The irony. No. Okay. All right, man. I give you thoughts and prayers, but you and I both think that that's useless bullshit. So the only thing I can do is say I have very large, empathy for you, and I hope you do well. Like, yeah, fuck cancer. I'll say it out loud. Like I've lost too many friends to cancer. I just lost another classmate of mine from high school to cancer, and so it's like he's 56. It's like, bastard. I just have no time for that stuff. So that was mold going on the roll. Censoring the word Nazi, but I don't know. I don't like to censor words. So like I think a lot of liberals like, oh, we need to stop saying the word Nazi and relating everybody to Hitler. I remember that about 10 years ago. Like, we need to create a logical fallacy of, if you mention Hitler or the Nazi Germany, you need to get rid of it. And now all of a sudden it's popular again. And I don't hear too many people in cancel culture talking that way anymore. So yeah, it's been around 6 years. It's been good. This last year's actually been pretty good. Didn't meet all my goals, for the channel, but something else weird happened along the way. This whole community. So yeah, you're going to take science. Okay, cool. Me too. Yep, me too. Ah, man. I missed something. Talking about early guys, how they said all the villains were Christian and the assassin order was more proving of the Ottoman. Okay. All right. Though the problem I had when I was playing the original, like the OG Assassin's Creed, and I was a Christian at the time, and I was like, I didn't really see that. Like, if you were going to have an assassins organization inside any big umbrella engine, absolutely the church would fit. Like, okay, like they were this big over umbrella organization. Yeah, why wouldn't you have assassins be Christians and part of the Templars or whatever? I didn't have a problem with it. Like it, but it's like it's always anything that gets popular. I've noticed Christians will come out against it and say it's satanic, and it's something that when I deconverted from, I noticed even more. Like they have a problem with popular things. So, and they try to label it as something else. There you go. Habit from the, yeah, I do that too. I don't know. Christian nationalists, I have no problem talking about. I'm an atheist channel. That's kind of what I do. So, well, my problem with YouTube, and I said it before, I'll say it again. I mark my channel for adults. I should be allowed to have adult conversations with adult words. Okay. And I should be allowed to use the most accurately descriptive word that I can find in the dictionary to describe somebody. Like I've always hated they don't want the 4-letter word for sexual assault. And I'm like, that's what the word is created for, to describe. Why can't I say it? It's just a word. Like, it's like, I just I don't have any patience for that kind of censorship. And I did notice that a few big YouTubers said the word lately, and their videos haven't been taken down. So is it really that illegal, or is it just rumors that fly around the internet? So we'll see. Yeah, you got to watch the automated bots. I just don't know. I get really tired of, this word is made to describe this action, but I can't use it because reasons. It might hurt somebody's feelings. I can't think of any word real. Is there too many words other than prepositions that like can't be used to offend somebody in a certain context? It's like, context is a lot of the meaning of words. And if I want to talk about sexual assault, I should be allowed to use the 4-letter word for sexual assault. And nobody should be triggered by that. That just describes a certain event happening. Like, if you don't like it, it's like, I get it, but we create words for reasons. Okay. And we should be allowed to use those words in an adult context to talk about adult things. Like, I don't see that's a problem. So, people have critiqued the Muslim religion on YouTube before. There have been, that goes back to the whole Islamophobia thing. And I'm like, Islam is not an inborn condition. Okay. It's not something, it's like, it's a religion, it's a choice, it's ideas, and they should be allowed to be criticized. But I've seen people criticize Islam. So you can get threatened by becoming too big and criticizing Islam. You can, but it's like, I think there's been some court cases recently. And YouTube, I don't know. I hope YouTube changes for a more positive direction when it comes to word choice and word usage. Like, if they're listening, listen, like, my only beef is these words exist to describe certain things, allow us to use them so we don't have to use alternatives where everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay. But I have to use a different word so you guys don't auto-bot me out. Like, it's like, why is that? So yeah, they do call in. Assassin's Creed is funny. As a fictional setting, history has literally been manipulated. Gods don't exist. History is, yes. Yeah. It's like, I get what you're saying. Like, I don't get it. Whereas, like, if you're supporting certain actions, and yeah, I mean, I'm not saying, like, we use grape instead of the other word, right? I'm not saying if I use the real word and I endorse it that I shouldn't be shut down. Okay, I should be shut down if I were to endorse it. But if I'm talking about it and its effects on people, then I should be allowed to talk about it in that context without being canceled. Okay, it's like, I think that's a real problem. And you'll see, like, other content creators, they'll say the word, but then they'll, like, censor it out. Like, they'll make their sound mute or whatever. And it's like, we shouldn't have to do that. Okay. We shouldn't have to do it. We're all adults here. There's a dictionary of words that's used to describe things. As long as I'm not advocating for violence against others using those words, yeah. I can see a community standard where it says we're not going to violent actions, but the use of words, I should still be allowed to talk about it. Like so yeah. Oh, God, being necessary is a step too far. Yes. See you later, Evan. Yes. May fangs nibble on your heart, sir. There you go. Yeah. It's heresy. No, it's hair-a-see. If you're a fangs follower, you got to use the right spelling of hair. Hey, it's the lap in which I learned naps. Good to see you, Earl. Yeah, like I always had a problem with them wanting to get rid of that word too. It's like I think it applies. Like there's words that are accurate descriptors of things, and it's like you see these content creators, so they can't use a certain word. They use another word. We know exactly what they're talking about. Okay, but why can't they use the word? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like I dislike that type of censorship where they just say certain words can't be used. And absolutism is always not a good thing when it comes to language. So yeah, you're taking back the word retard. Okay, that's fine. Okay. It's heresy. There you go. Yeah, it's heresy. Okay. There you go. But hair. Yes. But yeah, you know, more receptive to the argument that nobody uses that word and actually refers to people with mental retardation. Yes, I think most of the time that word is used, it's not in that context. Okay, like you're making a statement about the person's ability to reason. So, and that to me, that should be perfectly acceptable, although I don't really do that myself. But freak out about the word spaz, and I'm like, brah, how am I supposed to insult anyone anymore? Yeah, they. Yes, that's fluffled out. But yes, yeah, it's like we do that around here. It's not the Church of Fangs anymore. It's the Fluffle of Fangs. It's like I've told people that fangs is literally embodiment of the F word, so you can use them in place of the F word. Like, and I've done that. Like that's fanged up. Yeah, and that's fine. I'm making a joke and I'm having fun, and I just don't like language police. Okay, where I'm not allowed to use a certain word because it might trigger somebody, and it's like if they're still being triggered by a word, they need to get to a therapist. Okay, like you need to deal with that's an accurate description of sometimes it's just an accurate descriptive word of what happened. Like, and it's not trying to be mean to anybody. It's not trying to be thing. It's just that we're trying to describe something that happened. And so I have to use an alternative word so I don't get, flagged by YouTube. But at the same time, it's like, why? Okay, why? I remember, this is probably a couple of years ago. I was watching Atheist Republic Livestream, and they got flagged for some issue where they were talking against something, but because they used the word, they were flagged for being supportive of that issue, but they were being completely the opposite. Like, and they're like, we're against this. Why are you flat? It's like, and it's because the bot basically flagged them for using the word instead of looking at any of the context. So yeah. Yeah. You don't get it. Yeah. I find it gatekeeping. It's kind of gatekeepy-ish. Like, it like George Carlin talks about how we soften words and soften language, and it's designed to take the shock out of it. But there's some issues that you should keep the shock in. Like some words are naturally shocking. Well, yeah, but you need to keep them that way so people wake up a little bit instead of fall asleep. So on your community page. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm glad he's feeling better too. Dave's awesome. Pearly gatekeeping. Swag, yes. We got swag. We're going to have swag eventually. Probably. Certain monologues, certainly. The ones about religion and the Ten Commandments are hilarious. They've gotten more hilarious the older I've gotten too, and the farther away from religion I've gotten to. They've gotten more funny. Yeah, I'm too much of a say. Actually, I thought there was some research that said spoiler warnings actually aren't a good thing for people that have the problem. Like, because then they're ready to be offended and ready to be triggered instead of, you know, dealing with it. So I don't know. I don't remember. I think I saw some sort of story about that, and I just don't remember. But it's like the trigger warnings I have noticed have disappeared on a lot of content creators. So maybe there's something to do with that. So I know as somebody who deconverts, I don't like trigger warnings. It's like, just talk about it. I'll be fine. But maybe that's just me. Your life. Yeah, you seem to, I get that a lot, Blossom. You seem like a nice atheist. What went wrong with you? Had that the other day. Like, I don't know. AI, also that movie released tomorrow, the guy that proved that he didn't murder his wife to an AI court is silly. Yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. Yeah. I actually, in a sense, I do too. Like, unalived is more sinister than killed. It's like, because it kind of makes it more acceptable. Like when people say that person should be deleted, like that, to me, that's worse than killed. Because if you kill them, their memory still exists, but deleted means you're getting rid of their memory too. So it's actually a little bit more sinister. Yeah. Yeah, they're not effective. Okay. I can buy that because I never could see somebody putting out research saying that they effectively help the problem. Like, so yeah, I don't think content warnings actually help. So, does the dog die site exist though? Just don't. Double plus on life, yes. Vehemently against until I discovered I had trypophobia. Oh, yeah, I suppose. I'm kind of against them. Like, I'm still against them because I don't think they help. And I look at other people. Yeah, this issue comes up a lot, Blossom. I'm going to tell you, I've lost track of the theists that have come here and said, "Man, you're awful nice for an atheist." And I'm like, well, what other atheists have you actually had a discussion with? Like, well, not too many. I says, well, maybe your sample size needs to get larger, because I think most of us are pretty nice. Most of us. Yeah, I've noticed that one too, Storm. The empathy thing. Like, empathy is a human weakness until I need it. When I need human empathy and somebody to bat for me, yeah, then we'll do that. But yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah, he didn't mean it. He didn't know what empathy was. Then why are you? Why are you even quoting him? Why are you following this guy? So he's either really bad because he doesn't know empathy is kind of key to human morality, or he's completely ignorant. So why do you worship this guy again? Why do you think he was a good guy again? When something makes me throw my phone across my living room and makes me burst into tears, a warning trigger would be nice. Well, Earl, I have an honest question. Can anybody really predict that? Can you even predict that? Like, can you predict when you're going to throw your phone across the floor, across the room? Can you do that? Do you know what issues do that? Like, I get it because I have my moments. Like today, I had a lot of moments. There's some days I should stay off the news feed, and this was definitely one of them. So, it's like I'm going to go stream now. Let's go talk deconversion and leaving the faith and have a good time and get away from all that shit. Yes, context is a real pain. It is. Looking up the context. I mean, if AI is all that it's supposed to be, it should be able to analyze the context in which words are used and figure out which one should be stopped and which one shouldn't. So I'm a little bit alarmed at what happened to the thinking atheist this last week. It's like he had his whole channel deleted, and it's like he had to appeal it, and they brought it back like almost instantaneously. And it's like, I wonder if a bot flagged it for something in its content and did some automatic thing. And it's like, no, I think if you're going to delete somebody's entire channel, some human being should be making that decision. You didn't even know it had a name. Okay. No, I just find this very, very interesting. I don't know when I'm always going to get angry at something. So, and sometimes I have better things with certain topics, certain days than others. So, but yeah. Well, I am out of time. I do want to thank, Stormburn for the donation. Thank you, everybody. Didn't even get close today, I guess. The Fedora was winning, so that had been a rare moment. But I do have to run. I have to go to work. It's my Friday night for me, so and it's going to get bloody cold. So need to prepare for that. So thanks, everybody, for coming by. I appreciate all of you, all you citizens, all you people that donated tonight. Appreciate it. But I do have to run. You have to get ready for work. Appreciate all of you. May fangs nibble on all your hearts. May you use the red flag emoji often. So, go up your puffiness and cry again. Okay. See, the lap in which our Lord naps has issues sometimes, as if we didn't already know, but we love her anyway. So there you go. But may fangs nibble on all of your hearts. May he purify your vegetables with his pointy teeth from religious corruption so they can be pure like the circumcised carrot. Make sure you leave a circumcised carrot on top of your stash. Maybe Fangs will take this carrot instead of the stash. Maybe he won't. But that's always very good. So, but there you go. There you go. And, just do the things for Fangs that, don't do what he would do. You might get arrested. So there you go. Nom nom and all that. And as always, good folks, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So make sure you're taking your time, money, and opportunities, giving them to yourself and the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier to do. Don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all next time on Saturday. We'll be doing a little bit of an anniversary special. I think I'm going to pull out an old video of mine and I'll review it. So we'll see what happens then. So until then, folks, thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you all next time.
It's time to take a stand.